All right, good afternoon, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's meeting. We're going to have our invocation moment of silence. It'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, those of you who are here, please stand. And please, let's keep those COVID-19 patients and those who have suffered loss to their family in prayer. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't think I took a punishment, trying to do it by accident, and lady done. And he didn't.
Okay, unless you are being asked a question or spoken to, let's please put our phones on mute or devices. Okay, before we start, I need to take a roll call as to who is on the call. I'll start with Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Felicia Franklin Warner.
I'm here.
Commissioner Gail Hambrick.
Here.
Commissioner Sana Gregory.
Here, please.
All right. I think we are all here and accounted for, Madam Clerk.
All right. Good evening and welcome to the Board of Commissioners' April 21st business meeting. Our first order of business is the adoption of the agenda.
All right, first item I would like to add as an emergency item as resolution number 2020-76. It is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to designate as Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services Department as a Department of Public Health moderate testing site. Basically, we are looking to be designated as and form additional testing sites throughout Clayton County to help expedite with the testing. And we all know that that's a need of urgency. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Chair.
All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
It is
Add this
unanimous.
to the consent agenda.
Excuse me?
Are we
Yes,
adding this
please.
to the consent agenda?
Yes, thank you for that. Also would like to remove resolution 2020-68, a resolution authorizing Clayton County to examine, establish, and promulgate a policy for hazardous pay for frontline employees during the COVID-19 emergency. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing
Are
none.
we removing it to the regular agenda?
No, removing it from the agenda in
You
its,
have to remove
in
it
its
from the
totality.
consent agenda. It's on the consent agenda.
No, we're moving it from the consent agenda, yes. But we're not, we're
Okay.
moving it from the agenda in its totality. You follow me, Mr. Reed?
What now?
We're removing it from this meeting, period.
Okay.
Are you clear on that? for
Okay,
a
can you
second?
please restate, please restate your motion so it's
My
clearly
motion
understood,
is to
Mr. Chair?
remove from the consent agenda and from the meeting in its totality, resolution 2020-68, authorizing Clayton County to examine, establish, and promulgate a policy for hazardous pay for frontline employees during the COVID-19 emergency, which we already do have an hazardous pay policy in place. Now, are there any questions, statements?
There is.
Madam Warner?
Thank you. By the way, you're referencing the hazard pay. According to what I was able to review, that is actually a civil service rule. And that civil service rule was in place prior to COVID-19. So if you're removing hazard pay as an agenda item, then the board is simply removing it and saying that we don't need to examine it during this added risk factor that's been added to our first responders, which is our right to do as an entire board. However, I think it needs to be very clear and not misconstrued that this board, we have not addressed the added risk of COVID-19, an unknown risk that that we're not in control of as a board. And so I've asked for the board to have it on this agenda for us to take a look at it once again. So I just think that we need to make sure that your motion is clear, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, well, I read specifically what is listed in this book, and I think you had it drafted up, so I'm sure it's specifying what you wanted it to. So again, that's my motion. It was second. Are there any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
4-1, it passes. Are there any other amendments or additions?
On the regular agenda, I've gotten a letter from Manlin Span pertaining to, I think it's I here, BOC 1911-0030, to pull that from the agenda. They want to table it
Until when?
until next month
What's the
meeting.
date?
Let me hit that again, huh? Next month's meeting would be the 19th of May?
That's correct.
So we'll table it to the 19th of May. Manlin Span forwarded me a letter from the gentleman for this, requesting that.
Madam Clerk have a copy of it?
I will forward it on to her.
Okay, please
She
do.
sent it to me in email.
Please do so she can make it a matter of the record. All right, that was your motion?
Correct.
I'll second the motion. Are there any questions on this? Hearing none, those in favor,
I
aye.
didn't understand. I can't have questions because I didn't understand anything.
Oh, I'm
that,
sorry.
Commissioner Davis said.
Agenda I,
We didn't hear that.
Agenda I for BOC 1911-0030. We received a letter requesting us to table this until next month's meeting, which is May 19th.
Oh,
And
Thank you.
And Manlin Span forwarded that letter to me, which I will forward on to Ms. James.
And I second the motion. And again, are there any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Any other changes, modifications, additions?
Mr. Chairman. Gail
Yes, Ms.
Hambrick.
Hambrick.
It's not on the agenda, but I was gonna ask for a point of privilege anyway, but I know we say employees are coming back to work on May 4th, and I'm wondering if we have a plan in place, something for our employees' safety, like, are we gonna have the distancing? What are we gonna have to keep our employees safe? I think is the main thing, and I guess like spacing between the employees that are close, have close spaces. I'm not sure if it's what do you call offices or cubicles or whatever. And also, along with that, if we can discuss it or find out about it, are we open to the public, or are we just opening up for the employees?
Yes,
And along with that, I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry to cut you off. But yes, there is a plan that's in effect. We are still tweaking that plan. We are following some of the guidelines, or the Phase 1 guidelines of the White House that the White House has put out. There will be limited interaction from the employees with the citizens. Only those essential businesses, well, not businesses, I'm sorry. Only certain buildings will be open for public interaction. But at the same time, the senior centers and recreation centers will remain closed. We will
Okay,
have proper
that was my second part of the question, right?
we will have proper PPE in place, and we will make sure that social distancing is in effect. And again, when you talk about social distancing, we're going to have each location 6 feet apart, spaced and marked on the floor. And what was the other one?
The PPEs for our staff.
Yeah, each staff member will have the proper PPE in place. There is a plan, and we will definitely continue to provide the board with additional information. Matter of fact, we have a couple of meetings tomorrow in reference to that, and to follow up to make sure that everybody knows what's going to be going on, because we are also going to thoroughly clean, once again, every county building to make sure our employees are safe as well as the citizens. And we also will have some employees working through telecommuting. So again, we're trying to follow the guidelines set forth by the White House under the phase one approach and make sure that we do so with our citizens and employees' safety first and foremost.
Well, I just thought about this since I see you, Chief. Hey, Chief.
Hey, ma'am.
Are we gonna do like the temperature check or whatever? Because we may be letting somebody back to work that may have the virus.
Ma'am, Madam Commissioner, we have a onboarding process that we are going to put each employee through as they come back to work. So we're touching every employee that will return back to work to make sure that they have been properly checked, properly assessed, given their PPEs, and ready for work. But let me remind you, this situation is fluid. Nothing means,
Yeah, I know, because I
nothing
don't
says
think-
that
I'm
next
not
week
following the
that this
government
plan can change.
I'm still sheltered at home, so you all know.
Commissioner Hambrick, we're a little bit off task, but that is something that we will continue to discuss with you. I appreciate the question though, so, because that did give us a little time to clarify a few points, but we will be going into much more detail as the days come.
Also, I would like a point of privilege. I would like to say thank you, Commissioner Hambrick, for bringing that up. And Mr. Chair, I heard you say that we're a little bit off task, but remember, as commissioners, we receive the calls and the questions. And so I think that that question was so apropos because the communication that went out to the employees just said everybody return back to work. It didn't say look for further information. It didn't say that further guidelines would come forth or check your emails. It didn't say anything like that. So thank you for asking the question because I wasn't aware of any plan as well. And I just think as a board of commissioners, we're all responsible, even though you're in charge of the day-to-day, but we're all responsible for the actions of the government. So thank you, and hopefully we'll be able to hear more about it in your upcoming meetings. Thank
Well, I
you so
guarantee
much.
you, Commissioner, that you will be continuing to hear about it because we send out a ton of emails. But neither here nor there. Do you have?
Is this what
Commissioner
Chief
Davis?
Murkison has been working on?
Yeah.
Yes, and I know Chief has spent some time on it and given a few updates on that going forward with the plan for reopening and what would be closed and what's not, so.
And I've invited everybody to the meetings, operation meetings that we have every week. And Commissioner Warner, you were on those calls, so I don't know why you would not have received that information. But neither here nor there, are there any other points of privileges anybody would like to take?
Yeah,
I
I
would-
want to say, I had a citizen to call me, and she said, well, I saw you on the news where you're opening the county back up, right? Whatever. So I'm saying that to just co-sign on what Commissioner Hambrick and Franklin Warner said, that yes, because those who live in our respective districts, they know us, and they automatically think that we're doing it when they see something done, you know? And so she was like, do you think that's safe? Do you think it's time? You know, so, you know, and I do thank you because I do get the invitations, but sometimes I'm just not able to make those meetings. But just
Yeah,
again,
And that's a good point. And let me say this, we are not saying that the county is open for business. We're saying that county employees are coming back to address any needs such as tag needs or anything else. The governor yesterday opened up for business, and he designated certain businesses to be open. And those businesses, what he did yesterday, a county nor city can undo. So we have to abide by the governor's executive order. So it makes sense that we bring back some employees to make sure we adequately address the needs of our community.
Oh,
So I do recommend,
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I'm listening to the words. Now, you said bring back some of the employees, but the message that we got on the phone said all employees are required to come back to work unless you have a, something from your supervisors. So we really need to clear that up.
Yeah.
And it will be, Commissioner Hambrick. Again, we're exercising telecommuting once again. And there might be situations where some of the employees would not return because their building would not be open. So we will be more specific once again in the days to come. But every employee will get adequate notice and information in terms of what is going on and what the expectation is.
Considering our name is on all your notices, Mr. Chair, are you gonna have the communications division go back and clarify in writing? Because you have 3 commissioners that are also confused, and I know the public is confused. So are you all gonna go back and possibly clarify that and re-release some information?
Yes, absolutely.
Is
We'll
that
take care of
okay
it.
if we ask that?
We will take care of that. That's no problem, Commissioner
Thank
Warner.
you.
But again, this plan is not complete, am I right?
No, it's still in
And
the,
we've got 2 weeks away from this, and it's a fluid plan right now. It's a dynamic plan that is changing and being revised.
but we will make sure we reduce everything that we do to writing. So to your point, Commissioner Warner, we'll take care of it.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I guess we are adopting the agenda now.
Yes.
All right. I can't even remember if there was any motion. Have we taken a motion on
No,
it?
we have not.
No, the
All
last,
right,
the
I'll
last
take-
motion was to pull aye.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, any questions?
Was it regular? Okay.
Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
The next item is to approve our consent agenda.
All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moving and second. Any questions on any of the items? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next item are board appointments, Mr. Chairman.
All right, first board appointment is to the Animal Control Board. Ms. Christy Thomas' term on the Animal Control Board will expire on March 12, 2020. The term is for 3 years. New term will expire on March 12, 2023. Is there any recommendations? I spoke to Ms. Thomas, and she is asking to be reappointed. Is there a second on it?
Second.
All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Next board appointments to the Land Bank. Ms. Latrivia Cates from the Land Bank will expire. Her position will expire April 15th, 2020. Term is 4 years. New term will begin on April 15th, 2020, and will expire April 15th, 2024. Any recommendations?
Did she want to continue serving?
Yes, she asked to remain, so I will put that in a motion to reappoint Ms. Latrivia Cates. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by
So, no, but that's
Commissioner Gregory. Any questions? Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Next appointment is to the Board of Health. Dr. Timothy Brown has resigned from the Board of Health. This appointment will complete the term of Dr. Brown to begin immediately and will expire on December 31st, 2025. The term of office for the Board of Health is 6 years. Any recommendations? I got a recommendation from Southern Regional for a Dr. Richard Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Next board appointments to the Development Authority Board for Mr. Michael Edmondson, who resigned from the authority. This appointment will fill his unexpired term. The appointment will begin immediately and will expire March 1st, 2021. Any recommendations?
I make a recommendation that we appoint Mr. Randy Burton.
All right, is there a second? I'm not familiar. I'll second the motion.
No,
Say again? I'll second the motion.
Can you pronounce
Tho-
that name again? Is it Rainey?
Burton. Was that Burton?
Randy Burton.
B-U-R-T-O-N?
Correct. I believe he lives in your district.
Whose district?
Whose?
Your, well,
Whose district?
At any rate,
just heard
those in
yours.
favor, aye.
well, it's residence, place of residence that has it divulged to.
Those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
You know,
Shani-
can I request something for our board appointments, for especially to Development Authority, that just out of general, I don't know what word I want to use right now, but that we begin to put some of these resumes before the rest of the commission so we know who they are. Granted, if they reside in my district, I don't know everybody in my district, unfortunately, but that we begin to review some of these so that we can make sure that we have the strongest development authority as possible. Not saying that this person is not qualified. It's just to say, to begin to do that as just a matter of respect for the rest of the board.
I think I proposed that several years ago, so I
I
concur.
wasn't
You
on the
have,
board several
you
years
have,
ago.
and the Commissioner's right, she has
Yeah.
requested
Yeah,
that, but
so
let me say this, nothing keeps any commissioner from asking
Correct.
for a resume and bringing it before the board at any given time. So if you know you want to appoint somebody, ask them for that resume and then disseminate it to the board, to the rest of the board. So that's an easy fix. Did we take a vote?
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right, next board appointment. Also to the Development Authority to replace Mr. Elgin Bell, who resigned. This appointment is to fill his unexpired term. The term will begin immediately and fill.
It will expire March 1st,
Okay.
2021.
On March 1st, 2021. Any recommendations?
I recommend that we appoint Ms. Michelle Fuqua,
Who? Give us the name again.
District 3. Michelle Fuqua. In fact, we gave her a proclamation. She is one of the lead engineers and works with many of the companies in the area.
Can you spell her last name for us, please?
That's Foqua. And let me look it up to make sure I have it correct.
Quad usually F-U-Q-U-A.
Correct.
Okay,
Is it
great.
Jennifer Barr?
First name again, Commissioner?
Michelle. In fact, the previous board met her, because, like I said, she's an amazing engineer and she resides in District 3, in fact.
Okay, is there a second to the motion? I'll second the motion. Those in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Next appointment is to the Tourism Authority. Board, Gabrielle Johnson's appointment to the authority will expire on April 30th, 2020. This is a request to make a new appointment that will expire on April 30th of 2024. Any recommendations? I spoke to Mr. Johnson, and he advised that he would like to remain on the board, so I
Now,
will.
he told me just the opposite,
When did you speak to him, Commissioner?
because I'm the one that originally put him up there, okay.
Right, right, and I spoke to him today, and he said he would like to remain.
Okay, that's fine then.
Okay, that's my motion, is there a second?
I'll
Second?
All right, those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Next appointment is to Library Board for Siobhan Simmons. Term on the Library Board will expire on May 1st, 2020. The new appointment will expire on May 1st, 2023. Any recommendations?
I recommend she, remain serving, offer motion that she remain serving.
Is there-
Second.
Well, let me back up. Her time has expired on that board, so she
Oh,
has,
that's right.
she has to
That's
come
right,
off.
there's a term limit, okay.
So are there any new recommendations? All right, well, we'll hold that, Madam Clerk, till next board meeting. First board meeting in May 4th. No, 5th. 5th. May 5th. Next board appointment is to the Housing Authority Board for Mr. Michael Bryant. Term will expire on May 11th, 2020. The new appointment will expire on May 11th, 2025. Any recommendations?
I recommend that Mr. Bryant, remain on that board.
I'll second the motion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
No, you didn't ask for any name.
Nice for Nate.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said, okay, nay.
Hey.
Any opposed? All right, sorry about that. 3-2, it passes.
So were they? Gregory and,
Hambrick,
Hambrick.
Commissioner Hambrick. So it's 3-2. Madam Clerk, that concludes board appointments.
that concludes the.
And I believe that concludes our agenda. Being no other further business before this board, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motioned and second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Good evening, everybody. Stay safe.
Good evening.